So a new Claude skill just dropped that allows you to almost completely automate selling digital products online. So in this video, I want to run you through what the digital product is, how to download, install, and use the Claude skill. I'll run you through how to get everything set up and automated on your machine. And I'll even talk about if Claude is too powerful to the point where it breaks this entire side hustle. Selling art on Etsy has been a staple product for years. And individual listings make sellers anywhere from a few hundred all the way up to thousands of dollars per month. And with the rise of AI, doing this has never been easier. I made a simple search for rustic wall art. And just from this first page of search results, you can see that some of these individual listings are making anywhere from a few thousand all the way up to over $10,000 per month. And keep in mind, these are just individual product listings where someone created a piece of artwork and posted it for sale, and now they're making passive income from that piece of artwork. The cool thing about this product specifically is once you've created the artwork and you've gotten it posted for sale, it can continue to sell over time for months or maybe even years, and every single time it does sell, the customer just downloads the artwork file and you keep most of the sale as profit. That's what makes this product so profitable and scalable. You can create as many of these individual paintings as you want. You can list them individually, or you can sell them as bundles like this one that's making an estimated $2,700 per month. And since this is a digital product, whenever it sells, you're keeping almost the entire sale as profit minus some transaction and Etsy fees. Now, just for an example, take a look at a listing like this one. It's a pretty simple image of a water buffalo. I think that AI could definitely handle making something similar. And it's making an estimated $5,000 per month just from this one listing. I'm not going to show you how to make just one of these paintings. I'm going to show you how Claude can build out an entire pipeline that can allow you to post as many of these as you want per day. And that's really important because if you take a look at the shop that has this water buffalo print posted for sale, they have over 300 of these prints posted. So a lot of their prints might not ever sell. Some of them might only make a couple $100s per month. But because they've stayed consistent and they've posted over 300 for sale, you can see that they found some winners that are making them thousands of dollars a month. Making and posting a lot of these prints is how they found these individual winners, and it's how they're ultimately making an estimated $40,000 per month from their shop. This is just one example shop, but I wanted to share it with you because it proves the point. If you stop at 20, 30, even 50 listings, you might not ever reach the point like where this shop has gotten to, where they have individual listings that are bringing in thousands of dollars a month. They've only gotten to this point because they consistently create and post new designs and new styles of downloadable artwork every single day. And luckily, with the automation that I'm going to share with you today, if this sounds like something you want to do, it's now easier and faster than it's ever been before. Now, I have to make a disclaimer here. Although I'm showing you these shops that have been super successful, you can't go and directly rip off their products. We can use what they're doing as inspiration for success, but when we go to create our own artwork, we want to make it original and something that people haven't seen before. That's how you'll be able to stand out in a crowded marketplace. And second is you have to stay consistent with it over time and continue to improve even after watching this video. For example, this shop, you can see that they've only been selling for around 9 months. They also have around 300 listings, but they're only making around $10,000 per month. It might be their artwork or it might be their packaging. Either way, it definitely shows that your results will vary, and it really depends on your ability to adapt to what the market's telling you and create products that people truly want. That's what really separates a seller who only makes $10,000 a month from someone who makes $40,000 a month or more. But now that you can see the potential here, let me show you how you can get absolutely everything set up and automated in around 15 minutes. And keep in mind, this is still going to require effort. It's not going to be completely easy, but I can promise you that it's going to be much faster than doing everything manually by hand. Now, the entire process to do this is pretty simple to begin with. So first, we have to generate some artwork using your favorite AI tool. So we could use Midjourney, ChatGPT, or even Nano Banana. This is when we generate the actual artwork or painting that the customer is going to download and then probably hang up on their wall. So we want it to be good. Second, we have to upscale that artwork so that it's good enough quality to print. A lot of people are going to hang the artwork up on their wall, or they're going to display it in a Samsung TV frame. So either way, we need it to be as high resolution and high quality as possible, because ultimately that is the product that we're selling. We're selling the artwork here. Third, we have to crop the artwork so that it fits in standard frame sizes. Any of these best-selling digital download artwork prints or the artwork packs are going to come pre-sized in several different aspect ratios so that no matter what the customer needs, they can download it and get it printed and hung up on their wall in that exact frame size. Fourth is we have to upload all of those files to Etsy, dealing with their 5-file limit, as well as the 5 megabit per file limit as well. But I'll show you how to work around those in a second. Fifth is we have to create and upload mockups. A mockup is an example of what the final product might look like when it's printed out and hung on the wall. It's essentially a blank frame that you upload the artwork to make it look more realistic so that it's easier to sell. And step 6 is to write the SEO. That's going to be the title, all of the tags, and the product description that actually get your product listing to show up organically in Etsy search. Now, that might seem like a lot of work just to get one listing posted for sale, but with this new Claude skill, we can automate almost the entire process. Now, in order for this to be as automated as we can possibly make it, there's 2 technical things that you have to set up before it'll work. But don't worry, I'm going to walk you through everything step by step. First is going to be downloading the skill and actually getting it installed and set up. So if you come to the first link in the description, you'll be able to download this Artwork Orchestrator skill file. This skill is specifically set up to work inside of Claude code. And don't worry, I know that sounds a little intimidating, but I'll show you exactly how it works. You'll need the Claude desktop app downloaded and installed on your computer. And once you've gotten it opened up, it'll look something like this. Now, if you click on the sidebar over here, you should see 3 different tabs, and you want to click over to the 3rd tab that says code. Don't worry, you don't have to write any code. This is where you'll drag in that Artwork Orchestrator skill file and just say, help me install this skill. It'll walk you through a step-by-step installation process and install a few things onto your computer so you can run absolutely everything all from one place. This Artwork Orchestrator skill is what's gonna take care of 90% of the work for us. This skill alone will allow us to generate the artwork, upscale it to size, crop it to the proper dimensions, and generate search-ready SEO, all from one command. But before it's able to do that, we have to actually give it the ability to generate images. Claude can't generate images on its own, so we have to use an external tool if we want to give it that power. We can do that one of 2 ways. Now, the first option you have is you can create artwork on your own using any image generator tool that you'd like without connecting it to Claude. So for example, if you wanted to use Midjourney, one of the most powerful image generator tools and one of the best at actually making artwork that sell, you can use this tool and just download the artwork and run it through the rest of the pipeline if you want. But what I like to do is actually give Claude the ability to generate images on its own. If you want to use models like Nano Banana or ChatGPT Image 2, there's just a few steps that you have to take to be able to generate artwork like this right inside of Claude. Once again, this is the last little bit of the technical setup, and then we'll get into the cool part. If you want to give Claude the ability to use ChatGPT Image 2, you want to come to platform.openai.com and create an account. This is where you can come to the API keys section, and you want to click on create a new secret key. You can give it a name, assign it to a project, and just hit create secret key. You then want to take that key and give it to Claude, and it'll be able to use ChatGPT image to create artwork. And it's the same process if you want to give Claude access to Nano Banana. You can come to this URL, aistudio.google.com, and you should see your API keys. You click create API key. Once again, you can give it a name and just hit create key and then give that key to Claude. And by the way, if you get stuck at any point, just ask Claude for help or to explain things in more detail, and it'll walk you through with better step-by-step instructions than I can give you in this video to help you get all of this set up. Remember, this setup, even though it's a little bit technical, is your barrier to entry. Your willingness to figure it out is the reason why you're going to be able to succeed with this business versus someone who gives up before they even try. Your ability to work through even more technical tasks like this are the difference between a seller who makes it and someone who doesn't. Don't give up before you even get it working. But with that setup out of the way, now we can get into the fun part. In the Claude desktop app under the code tab, if we come down into the prompt box, we can type out a / followed by artwork orchestrator to invoke that skill. We can run it as is, or we can give it some examples of artwork that we want to try creating. Now, before you just create a bunch of artwork that's never going to sell, what I recommend doing first is coming on a platform like Etsy and trying to identify the best-selling listings. Keep in mind that some listings might look really great, but they might not be selling at all. You want to find the listings that people are actively buying that are making thousands of dollars per month. For example, this one is targeting a fringe country gallery, so we might want to make prints that replicate this sort of vibe and style. Another option you have is to come to a website like Midjourney, which is an AI image generator, and you can search for things like a fringe country landscape, something that matches that niche and that vibe that you're going after. And just take a look as you scroll through at some of the art that stands out to you so that you can zone in on the type of vibe and the style of art that you want to create. For example, this one looks really good in my opinion. So I'm going to copy this image and I'm going to paste it into Claude. Then I'm going to write a prompt that says something like, help me create a few variations of this French countryside painting that I can sell on Etsy. And by the way, if you come over to the right-hand side, you can right click and create a group, and you can call this something like digital prints. I like to move all of the chat sessions that are relevant to a topic in its own group so they're easy to find later. Now we've gotten to the first gate, and this is where it starts to get cool because it's going to ask you what type of artwork you actually want to generate. It's going to give you the option to generate the faithful. This is basically going to be a similar replica to whatever reference you gave it. The companion, this is going to be a similar style but new visuals. And then a wildcard. So this is going to give you something completely different to the original prompt or idea that you gave it. Now, me personally, I like to generate all three because why not? And just like that, it's kicking off all of the generations and all I have to do is wait. Now, when it's done generating, it's going to open all of these artwork paintings up in your browser so that you can choose the ones that you actually want to post for sale. So you can see we got a lot of really good options here. As you scroll through, you'll see what type it is and where it's saved on your computer. And from here, you can obviously choose which ones you actually want to post for sale. You can discard them, start over, or just keep generating depending on the style that you're going for. Honestly, I think all of these look really good. They're a similar style, and Claude will even pick out its favorites and suggest them to you. And what makes this just mind-blowing is it'll even catch little details that you might not catch yourself. So for example, it noticed that there's a small little signature in the bottom corner of a couple of these prints. I almost wouldn't have even noticed unless it pointed that out. So it's offering to crop that out for us. So we'll go ahead and take that suggestion. And once you select the artwork that you like, it'll automatically upscale it to the maximum size and crop it down so that it's ready to list for sale. Before we upload it and post it for sale, let's create the mockups that we're going to use to actually market and promote these listings. There's a ton of ways that you can get product mockups. For example, you can just search for frame mockups on a marketplace like Etsy, and you'll see a ton of best-selling options and a lot of these options that other sellers use so that you know that they convert. But you can also just use AI to generate your frame mockups. So a super easy way to do that is to search on a tool like Midjourney for something like a frame mockup. You'll see there's a ton of really high quality images that were already generated by other users here, and we could use these as inspiration to generate our own. If you find one that you like and you click into it, you can also see the prompt that they used to actually generate that image. So you can copy the prompt. You could send it off right here inside of Midjourney, but you could also take it into a tool like ChatGPT, turn on the image mode, and use the exact same prompt. In fact, you can do the exact same thing in Gemini's Nano Banana as well. So both ChatGPT and Nano Bananas look pretty good. So I'm going to go through and create a bunch of mockups that we can use to hopefully sell our artwork. So I just went through and created a few of the mockups that I thought looked best, but now we need to prepare them so that we can actually automate putting our artwork in these frames. Now to do that, I'm going to be using a tool called Listing View. Now, full disclaimer, Listing View is my tool, so if you decide to use it, you'll be helping me out while saving time in the process. So if you want to use it for the mockup and the listing automation, all you need to do once you're logged in is switch over to this Manage tab and find your way to the asset library. This is where you can upload manage, and host all of the files that relate to your e-commerce listings. The first thing that I like to do is to stay super organized. So since we're uploading a bunch of frame mockups, I'm gonna make a new collection and call it frame mockups. I'll click into this collection, and this is where I'm gonna upload all of those files. And once they're uploaded, we just wanna convert them to mockup templates by clicking the little drop down and selecting convert to mockup. Now, this is where we define the mockup region, which is essentially just the area where our artwork is going to be applied to the frame. So I'm just going to drag in these corners until it looks like they're in the correct spot. And once it looks right, we're just gonna hit save region. And now we just have to do the same for the rest. And just like that, now we have 3 ready to use mockups good to go. I previously had this other one, so I'll just add it in there for good measure as well. But now back to the artwork. It finished the upscaling process, and this is what we got. 3 unique paintings based on our selections that honestly look pretty incredible if you ask me, considering we made this from one single prompt and we were able to upscale it and get them cropped into the right sizes is absolutely insane. It's going to create a file that looks something like this on your computer with all of the different variations that you created. So if we open one of these up, what you'll see is we have the master, which is sort of like the original artwork, as well as all of the prints or the actual crops that it created so that we can sell this at all of the sizes that our customers actually going to need. So we essentially created 3 different products with that one prompt. And now, as surprising as it sounds, we're almost done. We just have to get these posted for sale. So back in listing view, there's a few things we want to set up before we just start listing stuff for sale to stay super organized over time. The first is I'm going to add a new collection and name it something like vintage art. Basically, whenever I create a new listing, I want to upload all of the artwork files into one collection so that they're not all over the place. Second is we want to come into the listing optimizer tool, and this is where we're actually going to build out the listing. But instead of just making one listing, we're going to build out a template so that it's super quick to upload these in the future. If I click on the presets tab, this is where I can build out a listing preset that will allow me to bulk upload and create these digital listings really quickly. So the first thing we want to do is scroll down into the product section and turn it into a digital product. The cool thing about doing this in listing view is it allows you to upload as many files as you want, as large of files as you want, so you don't run into Etsy's limitations. Because if you don't use a tool like this, then you have to upload your files to a Google Drive or to Dropbox, and then bundle that link into a PDF and upload that PDF to Etsy, and it's a headache. That's literally why we built this feature into listing view. But from here in the files section, we can control where all of our future uploads are going to be uploaded to. So instead of just uploading them to the root, I'm going to select our vintage art collection so that anytime we upload new art or use this preset to create listings, all of those files go right into that collection. From here, we can set things like the price. So maybe we want to sell this one for $4.99. We'll set the quantity at $9.99. And we can also set other details like renewal options. We could add it to a shop section. For the category, I'll set it as digital prints. And we have to fill in some other core details like who made it, what the product is, and if it's made to order or pre-made. So obviously, since it's pre-made, I'll select that for the preset. You can always hover your mouse over this bulk create requirements to see which fields you have to enter in order to use this preset to bulk create lots of listings. So we also need to fill in the description. I'm going to use the AI to generate a description, and we'll just tell it something like, write a generic description for selling digital art based on this example description. And we'll just use this, hopefully fairly generic for all of our artwork. But the final step, and arguably the coolest, is we can also automate the mockups right inside of the preset. So instead of generating all of your mockups separately and then assigning them to a listing later on, we can do all of that in an automated fashion. In the photos and videos section, you can select this use mockup slot option for each image. And here you can see all of the mockups that we've created in this account. When you select a mockup, you can also select the design slot. This basically just tells the system which design or artwork to use for each mockup. So since we only have one artwork per listing, it's really easy. We can just leave it at design slot A. We can also control the settings. So I usually like to cover and leave the artwork centered. In bonus tip, I always set the artwork to multiply blend mode. That's gonna make it look the most realistic that it can. Then I'm just gonna save that slot, and I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna add the other mockups in the exact same way so that we can generate all of our mockups all simultaneously whenever we post a new listing for sale. Finally, we just have to give this preset a name and hit save. And now for the fun part. So we can actually bulk upload all of the artwork that we made in batches so that we don't have to create one listing at a time. In the listing optimizer, when you click on create, you should be able to select this bulk create option and then select that preset that you created. It should load all of the details in as you'd expect. And from here, all we have to do is start uploading. So if I just open up one of those artwork packs, I can grab the entire folder that contains those prints and just drag it into listing view. And once it's uploaded, we can just click add another listing. We can drag in the next set of prints, and we can repeat that for every collection that we have. Now, we could go one listing at a time and input the best title and tags for each listing one at a time. But since this upload batch is all essentially the same type of artwork, what we can do is just open up the SEO that was generated for one of these prints. We can copy the prompt for it, and I'm just gonna enter that in the prompt box. I'm gonna generate the title and tags and just hit enter. This fills out all of the details for me so that I don't have to enter those for each one. And then we can just hit create as draft. And now if you open up the listing optimizer, you should see all of those listings right inside of your catalog. So if I just open one of these listings up, what you'll see is all of the details are pre-filled as you'd expect, but we also have all of the mockups generated and assigned to the listing. And not only that, but all of the files are attached to this listing. You can see there's over 70 megabytes of files. And all of those files are bundled together in this downloadable PDF. So when this listing is published for sale, this is exactly what the customer is going to see. They can download all of those prints all at once, or they can just find the one that they need and download that individually. And so from here, the entire process is essentially automated. And that's where it gets really powerful. Inside Claude, you can spawn off multiple jobs with a single prompt. So for example, I've uploaded 5 different reference artworks here. I've invoked the skill, and then I told it, I want you to spawn 5 agents to handle each one of these jobs in parallel. Then I go on to explain that I want it to maintain the exact same style, but to automatically go and generate all of these artworks for me. I can launch this off, and it's gonna take care of generating all of those options for me so that I can come in and pick the best ones. Once again, you can see exactly what we got right here, and honestly, these look insane. This really makes it so that all you have to do is generate the artwork running the skill and decide what artwork you want to keep. All I have to do is come through and choose a few of these paintings that I like. We promote the ones that we want to upload. It'll run through the upscaling, cropping, and preparation steps. And just like that, we have another set of 4 prints that are ready to post for sale. So all I'd have to do is come over into create, click bulk create, select our preset, and then start uploading these print packs right into listing view. Then I just need to grab the SEO prompt, paste it into the prompt box, let it do its generation, apply the changes, and just hit create. And just like that, after a couple minutes, you can see we have 4 brand new listings ready to post for sale. We can also take a look at what this listing looks like on Etsy. Honestly, I think that this listing personally looks pretty great. And just so you can see what this is actually looking like, this is the final product. It looks completely insane if you ask me. Any customer who's looking for this specific type of vibe, I mean, this listing doesn't look bad at all. The fact that we were pretty much able to automate this entire process is insane. Like, this is a great looking product for the amount of work that we put in. And if you make this your business and you dedicate real time to it, you'll be able to make even better products than I made in this short video. And that's ultimately what continues to make this a profitable side hustle, and why I don't think even a powerful automation like this is going to replace the sellers who take this seriously and actually put in the work. Ultimately, it is up to you as the creator to create artwork and designs that people actually want to buy, not just making slop. You have to prompt Claude well, you have to give it high quality references, and you have to try to make something that's above average if you want above average results. This just saves you a ton of time if it's a side hustle that you want to grow. I hope you found this as cool as I did. I think making money with AI in general is probably the coolest thing. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And also let me know, is doing it this way worth all of the setup? I'm curious to hear your thoughts as well. You can download everything that I mentioned completely for free right below the subscribe button. And yeah, that's about it. So as always,